there a possibility of prioritising, Les, that allows Manchester United to keep a certain level of momentum, of psychological momentum as much as anything? Or do you think conversely, do you think it's damaging to go into the game against Lyon off the back of a 4-1 defeat?
That's what I was going to talk about, the fact that you've lost 4-1 and the manner in which you've lost 4-1. You know, you could lose a game and go, look, we was unlucky. You know, yeah, now let's look at Thursday. And I know that's all they've been talking about, let's look at Thursday, look at Thursday. But the momentum, you've got no momentum going into Thursday. You've thrown all your eggs into one basket, and that's the only basket you've got, so you have to throw your eggs into that basket. But I just can't sit here and I think to myself, it's not a tap. If you play like that, you can't turn it on and turn it off and say, right, do you know what, we're going to be a different Man United on Thursday. I don't see it happening. I just see you going into after a performance like that. I don't know what level you think you're going to get to play on Thursday. You're talking about, Lyon's 6th in the division, but they'll be coming to Manchester United seeing this tonight and thinking, we've got a chance of beating Man United. So they ain't coming to Old Trafford thinking, do you know what, we got no chance of winning here. They'll believe they can beat Manchester United looking at that performance today.
You said you don't think as a group they have a strong mentality. How do they even set about switching that and changing the mentality?
I don't know. I think what does help, if you start getting some sort of results, or you dig in when you're up against it, get some sort of spirit in the group. I don't want to use the dreaded word, recruitment. Do they get players in the summer? Again, lads who are robust, who know the league. Because the majority, the percentage of players they've brought in over the last year or two aren't used to the Premier League. And I think it's cut a lot of them out. I think you have to get some players who are used to the Premier League, who've played 100 or 200 games.
And there as well, Roy, how much can they spend in the summer? Because what you're going to lose, what you're going to sell, because we're talking about PSR, we're talking about financial fair play. What can they spend in the summer? So you can have a group of players and say, right, these group of players ain't right for me. I need new. But you ain't going to be replacing 11 players in that squad there. You're not going to be able to do that because you ain't going to have the money to do that.
And even the recruitment side of it, we're talking about getting, you always hope that you're getting quality players into United, the money they've spent, but getting it to the right characters. We hear about clubs recently, their recruitment, and Liverpool look at it, and Brentford, and it's about the character, and it's about the play, Bournemouth, recruitment. They've got to be able to play and play at the highest level, but whereas this group don't show that. They're not robust. They don't kind of roll their sleeves up and dig out results. I don't see. Every now and again we do, and they'll pick up a good result like they did at City, and they get a draw at Liverpool. But then other teams that recently go to Old Trafford, every team's getting a bit of joy because there's no, even in Newcastle in the second half, there were just gaps everywhere. They were running through United. United don't even look big and strong. You look at certain teams in the Premiership and you hang your hat on certain things. You go, well, they're big and strong, or they're technically brilliant, or you look at Liverpool, they tick a lot of boxes. But you look at United going, well, what would you hang your hat on? What would you say they're really, really good at? They've not got a world-class striker. They haven't got a strong spine.
The captain having to come out after so many times this season and in previous seasons, not just under Ruben Amorim, and make excuses for the performance.
Yeah, it's not easy. To be fair to Bruno, he does front up and he does come out, and obviously the club push him out because he's the best player and he's the captain. Of course, it's important what he says, but to me, it's kind of just sound bites now from him. Let's hope they win on Thursday, by the way. My goodness, that's all they're talking about. Thursday. Listen, Lyon, I think Lyon are 6th in the French league, so I'd fully expect Man United to beat Lyon at home on a Thursday. But yeah, he's talking about his teammates there and belief and all. But what about his right back who didn't put a leg out or try and tackle for the goal, Dalot? I hope he's pulling him in the dressing room because he keeps talking about, I have belief in the players or my teammates. A real good teammate puts demands on each other, whether that's out on the pitch or in the dressing room or on the training ground during the week. I suppose it's called the culture at your football club. So when I listen to Bruno, now, and I've been harsh on Bruno, an amazing player, but I still have question marks about his leadership, even when I watched him there in the bigger picture, and he's doing his usual stuff. But he's certainly not getting any help around him. It must be tough playing that midfield when the expectation on him is to turn up week in, week out. And obviously that's unfair on him, because when you're playing for a big club like Man United, you need a helping hand. But now when he's doing the chats about the supporters and all this, again, to me, it's just sound bites. There's not even meaning to it. Because I don't know how we can listen to the United players doing interviews anymore, because I'm not sure they're an honest group. So why should we listen to? I don't think we're going to get real honesty from this group of players when we're not seeing it week in, week out. Bruno's mentioned, it's always interesting when you're playing for a big club. They talk about they have turned up in certain games, but as if they pick and choose their games, Kelly. As if they pick and choose the games. Oh, it's Man City or it's Liverpool. Your mindset playing for Man United should be every game's a big game. So today wasn't a big game. Is that the attitude of some of them? But Thursday's a big game. I think you're in trouble if you start picking and choosing what you think is a big game. Your whole attitude should be, again, when you're playing for Man United, every game is a big game.